And we are live. Hello, hello, hello. Giving everyone some time to settle in because we got a good one today. We'll be talking to the Lat Twist, Mr. Than, asking him all sorts of interesting questions about freestyle and calisthenics in general. But hey, when you got one of the best freestylers on the planet on your live, you might as well talk some freestyle. So I hope you guys are as excited as I am for this one. Make sure you get your questions down there into the little question box. We'll call it the question bin. So definitely make sure you get me your questions for Mr. Than, for the Lat Twist. We'll be getting him on shortly, just waiting for everyone to sign on. And if I see you, if I miss you, say hi, drop a hello. And again, please, questions, questions, questions. Anything you need to ask my man Than, just get him ready, get it into that question box down there. He should be joining on shortly. Oh, somebody's listening. We got a question already. Can I take creatine and branched chain amino acids together? I will answer your question before Than even gets here. Absolutely. Great synergy between those two. I see absolutely no reason why not. Branched chain amino acids are, in my opinion, best when you're training in a fasted state, so I'll use them since I fast. Branched chain amino acids are fantastic for that to help prevent muscle wasting, going into a catabolic state. So yeah, I'm a big fan of mixing branched chain aminos and creatine. Let's see what else we got going on. Where do you live? I live in New York. I live in Long Island, New York. Let's see. Did Than join on yet? Let me just look through here. Not yet. Okay. Let's keep going. All right. So any more questions? So yeah, I live in Long Island, New York, and Mr. Than, when he signs on, he's in Berlin, Germany. You're 22. Am I starting my journey? Is this too late? No, it's not too late. I'm 39, dude. 22 is a great age. You're a baby. 22 is super young. You can keep going forever. Talk to Graham. You know, Graham's on here. He's 73 and he's crushing it. What's up, Billy? Yeah, there's no such thing as too old to start calisthenics. Just might get a little more difficult. The older you are, the more difficult it's going to be. Where's my man? Where's Than? All right, yeah, he'll be popping on soon. So let's see what else we got in question world. Question. How old am I? Oh, yes, I am 39. This guy is 39 years old. So I'm not sure how old Than is. When he pops on, we'll be asking Than how old he is too. Oh, how to not get injured. So how to not get injured. That's a good question. I'll let Than, when he joins on, answer. So I'll have Than start answering your question shortly. When did I start? I started like playing around with this stuff when I was 13. So, but that doesn't really count, calisthenics. And that way, Than, what's going on, my man? How's life in Berlin? What's going on, my brother?
Hey, what's up, Raymond? Great to see
Ah,
you. Actually, I'm from Frankfurt, not from
oh,
Berlin.
from Frankfurt. I'm so
Yes,
sorry.
yes,
So
yes. No
sorry.
problem,
My
bro.
mistake.
Not a problem. Where are you actually from? I was curious about that.
I'm Long Island, New York. So I'm on the North Shore of Long Island, just outside the city. I
Okay,
love it
that's
out here.
dope. So you
Yeah.
pretty got the same weather like here in Germany.
Yeah, exactly. It's gorgeous. Today's a nice one. Today's gonna be like 90 degrees out. I'm in heaven. I'm going outside training after this. So,
That's
oh
dope.
wow, we have so much to talk to you about. Oh, and also, by the way, that freestyle muscle up tutorial you just
Yeah,
posted, I absolutely love it. I just shared it for the community to see. So let's start out there. Let's freestyle. Why don't you and tell the people who you are? I'm sure everyone absolutely knows who you are already, and tell us about how you got into
yeah, of course.
calisthenics,
Let me
how to start
introduce
out, and then we're going to
myself.
keep it going.
Yes. Firstly, thankful. I'm very thankful to be here and that you invited me for this live talk. And I'm Tom, aka La Twist. I'm from Germany, doing calisthenics for about 5, 6 years, and yeah, I'm a freestyle calisthenics athlete. Competed in several championships. I've already won several national and international championships as well. And yeah, what I'm doing actually is just to spread the movement. I'm here to inspire people learning calisthenics, doing freestyle calisthenics, and just reach the next level of their capability. And yeah, that's my mission. And yeah, I'm also doing coachings. I love to help people, whatever it's starting with calisthenics or learning statics or more advanced skills.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's what
And
I'm
your
doing.
statics are excellent. So I just want to throw that out there. Sven is not just a freestyle expert. He's also amazing at statics. His statics are some of the best, just period. They're incredible. So your online coaching, tell the people how they can learn from you. Give yourself a where, like, let's say you're in the gym, you've lifted some weights, you're a little bit athletic, you can do some pull-ups, some dips, some push-ups. Maybe you do 100 push-ups in your room every morning. How do you start out into the true calisthenics journey, in your opinion? Tell these wonderful people.
Okay, when they already, that's a good question. When they already have a good fundamental of calisthenics, like I just can tell the people like my story when I started, it was like when I was able to do the push-ups and the basic movements, it was just about skills because
Hmm.
I saw somebody doing like a human flag or muscle up, and that's something what I think is really amazing about the sports because it's not limited, it's more unlimited. There are so many skills that are very like unique, and you all can learn them. And especially when you get inspired, the first thing you need to do is like get inspired or just get a goal what you want to do, but it's not like, okay, I'm a calisthenics beginner and I saw this dude did a planche, I want to learn a planche. Then
Way above the pay grade.
that's a good way to start. But you don't need to say I want to do that move because that's a thing you limited yourself because you're not trying
Yes.
anything else. So I was also somebody who's like, okay, I saw that muscle up and I could do very good pull-ups. So what
Mhm.
I just focused on was the muscle up. But while learning that, I also experienced handstand. Oh, handstands are also like
God,
nice
I love
skills.
them.
And then I train like all skills together and slowly progress step by step. But it depends. It really depends on the people, and it depends on what kind of favors you have. And I recommend everybody just to try it because
Hmm.
if you haven't tried anything, you don't know if you can do it or if maybe your body is made for this, because
Yeah.
there are certain skills that like feel very comfortable for someone, even he's a beginner. Like
Hmm.
for me, for example, I've seen my boy Korosh is also here in the stream. He inspired me in the beginning to do freestyle calisthenics, and
I recently just saw all his walking and his bar dancing. I wasn't aware of it.
he's
Oh
definitely the
my
master of
God.
bar dance, and he's a true icon in the sports. And he just inspired me back in the days to do freestyle calisthenics. And I wasn't sure if I could do it or not because I had like some little breakdance experience because I was dancing back in
Hmm.
the days, and I did it on a very high level, so my body control was pretty good. But when I saw the people doing like straight by handstand and these crazy rolls 360, I was like, man, I never can do that because this is
It's
very
very different.
dangerous. It looks like very risky. But once I tried it and I tried to progress step by step, I realized, okay, my body's just made for it. I'm very good at swings
Yeah.
and it feels like easier for me than for somebody who's like never touched a bar or never did anything with their body movement. So it really depends on
Yeah.
what kind of
The
person you are.
background helps a lot. And you made a very good point. It depends on the type of person you are and what inspires you and what inspires your body and what your body is handling. You made the best part. The key to getting into calisthenics is first being inspired by calisthenics. If you don't have the inspiration, if you're not finding things that motivate you to go spend this extraordinarily large amount of time and painful time that we spend developing these skills, if you don't have the inspiration, if you're not like desperate to learn these things because you think they're cool, then do something else. Do something that you do think is that cool. And also, we have to do this. Invincible Ikram, happy birthday. He desperately wants a birthday wish from you, Thad. He seems
Happy
pretty hyped to
birthday,
get a.
man. Happy
Yes,
birthday.
yes. Yes. So, okay. So now I have a question in the box, and you brought up handstands. How did you get into hand balancing? I got into it just playing around when I was a teenager and just messing around with frog stand, trying to press my way up. I also got into calisthenics by just climbing trees. That was my intro in. How did you get into hand balancing?
Into handballing, actually, it's like I'm not the type of guy who's saying, okay, handbalance is my like profession, but I'm doing it
Mhm.
just because I love the movement of handstand. But
Yeah.
I don't even know. It's a good question. I just remember I did some push-ups, and then a friend of me, his name is Baholika, one of the first guys who brought me in calisthenics. he just did handstands all the way, like all kind of handstands. And yeah, I just replicated because I saw, okay, someone did it, and I tried it. My balance was like really shit because my mobility was like not that good. And then I realized, okay, this exercise is really good to strengthen your whole body and get a good control, because you need that kind of balance and this kind of focus.
Yeah.
And I think a handstand is something what like everybody should try once at least in their life, and they realize, oh, it's not easy that it looks. Yeah.
I
And
think I think it's so important. Like if you're doing calisthenics, just get into handstands immediately. Just work on them because they're so important and there's so much carryover to other skills and just the inversion principle of it. It's so valuable. So I encourage
yes,
everyone to do handstands. Absolutely.
the good thing is like our friend Cyborg, our friend Charles from
Yes.
Canada, he told us the benefits from handstands. Like you can activate your completely neurological system just by standing upwards on your hands. Your whole body get activated, the blood flows gets increased, the whole blood is going into your head, and yes,
Grip.
yes, you
That
feel it, you
neuro.
feel it, you feel it.
Yeah, and I don't know what happens. I'm just like such a weak floppy noodle all day long of just like, oh, I'm sore, I'm old. And then I do a handstand. I'm just like, okay, it's go time. Let's do this. I feel amazing. I got a few hours where I'm going to feel like a superhuman, and then it's back to floppy noodle of pain again. It just handstands are they're just like a shot. I just feel like, like when power lifters sniff the ammonia salts right before a heavy lift, that's a handstand for me. That's my ammonia salt. That's what hypes me up to
Yeah,
train.
true. Friend of me
Yeah.
here in this chat, she said, "You have to be water, my friend." Yes, that's true. You have to be
Yes.
water in any kind of moves, but in handstand, you have to be focused and you have to balance like you have to stand still like a tree. So it's
Hmm.
more like
Yes. I always tell people a handstand is about doing less. It's about taking like whatever you think you should do and doing about 10% of it. Like that's what I love the most, I think, about handstands is because there's so much involved in it, but at the same time, you have to limit yourself so much. Like if you move too fast, you're going flying. You have to really slow yourself down while also giving it your all throughout those movements. And I like how you said you're not really a hand balancer. I don't know if you're on a high bar, like 8 feet off the ground, holding a straight bar handstand, especially on like a thin bar, because those freestyle bars are like what, an inch and a half at most, inch and a quarter diameter. Like you're a hand balancer. Like that takes a lot of balance to hold a straight bar handstand. Like that is difficult.
yeah,
So
that's true, that's true. But there are like we said in the beginning, there are no limits. Like I can tell you a story. Once I was in Vietnam visiting my parents and my family. I went to a kind of beer fest that was like really strange party or something like that, and they had a showcase with some hand balances. And these guys, they like one guy just walked and the other guy did a one-arm handstand on his head while he's
what?
walking, and then he started
What?
to run, and they running up the stage, and there were like stairs, they're running up the stage, and he's still balancing with one arm on his head. That's why I'm telling myself, oh, okay, once I reach this kind of near level, I can call myself hand balancer.
Yeah,
This was next level, and I haven't seen this kind of crazy shit before in my life, and I was like
that's
really amazed
crazy.
about it. Not so. Also, the beginning when I calisthenics, so I just started. So once I get like 10 pull-ups and my first muscle-ups, I immediately started freestyle.
Okay,
So it
so
was like just maybe 3 months of working out without having any fundamentals. So I was like very skinny when I started.
mm,
And, right after I was able to do a muscle up, I started to do like bar jumps and get a feeling for my body. How is it to do like mix it with some parkour stuff and doing flips and stuff like that? Because back in the days with these guys who are in the chat right now, we just went to the swimming pool and we did like back flips, front flips from
yes.
tower, and that gives me like this kind of feeling that, okay, I can do more with my body, and that helps me a lot later in calisthenics a lot.
Yes. What is this guy asking? I'm not sure what you're saying, please. So yeah, so now just to give the people some hope, how long, like how many pull-ups were you able to do when you first got your first muscle up, and how long were you working on it to get your first muscle up? Because that's something people are always wondering, what each
So
person's individual journey was. Just to
yes.
answer real fast, I was I think I had like 14 pull-ups at the time. Like I don't even remember. And then I was just watching a video and I was just like blasted it and I just hit
Let's
it. And then
go.
it took me like a year to get a ring muscle up.
Yeah, yeah. So what I want you to ask before I answer you this question, how long you've been doing calisthenics and what's your background with
Okay,
calisthenics?
so me, I've been doing calisthenics just very loosely, like my whole life, just playing around, like, but then like consistently. Oh, it gets long when you get old. You start you start losing track of time. Like heavily into it. I want to say about 8 years, but also with like very heavily grappling focused. And then I was doing a lot of weight training at the same time. So, and then like only calisthenics for 3 years, but like heavily into it for I'd say about 8 years now. And then just doing
Okay.
it forever.
Yeah.
But those 8 years was a lot more like so I used to be a lot more strength based. So I used to be doing like a lot more one arm pull up stuff, a lot more just heavy weighted calisthenics, even weighted handstand push ups.
Yeah.
But I'm not as strong now as I used to be. So I'm just now I'm more skill based. I'm trying to like really hone my skills, get as clean as possible, and that's the rest of my life goal at this point, just to get perfectly
Yeah,
clean
that's a
at
nice goal.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, just as and so how long have you been doing it as well now?
I've been doing calisthenics since 2015 in summer, so it's like almost
Yeah.
6 years right now.
Yeah, it gets
Yeah,
hard to keep track after a while.
yeah, that's true. So, to answer your question, I started with like just one pull-up or maybe two when
Mm.
I first touching the bar ever. And after a week, I was able to do like 7 pull-ups, and then I was able to do like 10 pull-ups, and they all were with bad form. Yeah, it
Mhm.
was like
Oh,
just
it's always
half
bad form in
reps,
the
and you
beginning.
can't do it like perfectly from the
With
beginning.
the knees bent, the feet
Yes,
crossed, and like half
but
repping, like coming down to here.
exactly. It's not possible to do like perfect, even like you're really strong. But then at a certain of time, I reached a level that I was able to transfer the technique I've learned
Yes.
into the strength, because before, okay, you look for tutorials and you got some people or other guys who already been able to do like muscle ups, and you ask them and they just show you the technique.
Hmm.
And once you understand the technique, then it's like really simple. So actually it's able to do a muscle up when you have the strength to do like 5 pull-ups, but
Yes.
it need to be like very good pull-ups,
Yes.
but like you said, so more than 10 pull-ups are totally enough. When you can do more, it's even better, but it's more like explosive
Hmm.
pull-ups and more like transitioning the energy to the top, so
Yes.
you can
For
transfer.
I was going to say, for me, I had a very easy transition to bar muscle ups just because, like, most of my pull ups, I just, like, because I was doing a lot of tree climbing way back when, and just like, I always wanted to jump branches. So most of my pull up work was always like jumping back and forth. So I had a very good dynamic pull, and it just made the muscle up pull very easy. But then it
Yes,
made all the
yes.
skill work much more
Yeah.
difficult, which is why I struggled with the ring muscle up for so long. I just was like trying to explode, and when the rings swing, there's no like control like that, none
That's a
whatsoever.
good point. When you're able to do a ring muscle up, you have the true strength for real muscle up.
Mhm.
Because when you do like a muscle up on a bar, you can use momentum. Like you said, you're doing like the switch grip pull-ups. And once you understand how, at what kind of exactly moment you have to pull and maybe using your legs or the momentum, you can
Mhm.
save a lot of energy. And that's the
Mhm.
same with the muscle up. When you're trying to do like muscle up with kipping, or like the tutorial I just showed, the
Yeah.
freestyle muscle up, it's a completely different thing because it's just pure technique and translating the energy. But when you do a strict muscle up, you can use momentum as well, like tucking your knees to the chest. It's like
Mhm.
jumping. When you jump, it's very hard to get a nice height when you don't bend your legs. And when you
Yes.
use like your legs, you get your knees very close to your chest, you reach a way high amount of height. And that's the same thing with,
Once. So
yes,
very good point you made.
yes. But the hardest point, in my opinion, is like to understand this. And
Yes.
in order to understand this, you have to practice. And you have to
Yes.
practice and get a feeling for that. Some people get a like very fast experience with that, and they learn the muscle ups like in 2 days or even one sessions
Yeah.
or even a month. but some guys who are not able to understand this because they haven't done something like this before, because they're not into body weight movements, even it's climbing or something else, they have it a little bit harder. So they have to combine
Yeah.
it with more strength, but it's still possible.
I find if you've trained any type of lever, be it a tuck lever or it's even just inversions into candlesticks, lots of skin to cats, it's just going to make your muscle up journey so much easier because you'll understand how to move your lower body in relation to your upper body. So I have two questions for you here that are, one, we have a question, is it easier to train slow muscle up on the rings? Absolutely, significantly easier, just because a slow muscle up on the rings, you can transition from about here versus a bar, you have to be about 3 inches lower below your chest. You can be just above nipple line on the rings, essentially, and then on the bar, you have to be like, well, right around like diaphragm for a slow muscle up. So you have about 3.5 inch differential. So yeah, but it's significantly easier on the rings since you can pass through as opposed to going over. Your take on that? It's pretty much just a given that it's
I
easier
can
on the
just
rings.
underline what you just said. There's
Yeah.
another guy, Davis Santos. He said or asked, I'm working to master my handstand push-up. Do you have some
Oh,
tips, guys?
yeah. So, and then we also have another question about band training. So let's start with the handstand push-up since it's kind of hard to use bands on that, and then we'll address the band. Actually, should we address the band movements and just like give you a false feeling of gravity and a false sense all over, and also just how you use bands, whether it's on your feet in a lever, or whether it's on your thighs, or whether it's on your lower back. I mean, how you use a band is never the same. But I'm 50-50 with bands. I used to hate them. I'm starting to appreciate them now a little more. But I think people use bands a little too early, in my opinion. But what's your take on bands?
Yeah, yeah. I just can underline what you said, and I also give my 2 cents about that because I have a good example. In our gym, there's a guy, he's a basketball player. He's like 2 meters high and had a good weight. And he's really strong in pull-ups. Yeah, he can do like 10, 15, 20 pull-ups, but he can't do a muscle up. So we taught him some techniques, like the same we just covered here. But when he trained with his own body weight, he's like barely able to do like a muscle up. It's like very close. But
Hmm.
then we said to him, or some guys tell him, okay, use the bands because they will help you to get up. And then he couldn't use his legs, and the technique was like completely different. And
Hmm.
he's starting from scratch again. So
Yeah.
my opinion is like it depends on the skill. When you learn like levers or planche or something, you can use
Hmm.
bands. But when it comes to dynamic exercises, you just have to stick on bands for a while, or you just leave it completely out, or your body will get confused. Once
Yeah.
you're more advanced and know when to use it, then it's better. But especially for a beginner, it can confuse you way more than just train with your body weight.
And since you mentioned planche, I think the same thing goes with bands. I think you should at least be able to hold a tuck planche before using bands in your planche workout, because otherwise you're most likely just going to trick yourself into being into more of like a push-up position with your hands under your chest, and you're not going to get the technical aspect. I know way back in the day that was a mistake I used, where I think this was like, I don't even know. This was probably in the very early beginning. I put a band around my ankles and was doing planche push. I was basically just doing floating feet push-ups because I was a doofus. I didn't know what I was doing. I had them in the wrong spot. It wasn't realistic at all. But so let's go into
Yeah,
handstand push-ups
yeah,
since we were asking and we're getting more questions about
yeah.
handstand. So handstand push-ups. How did you learn the handstand push-up? I learned from the frog stand up. That's the way I teach it. I also did wall push-ups. Your method, I know you prefer the wall. And to tell the people about your handstand push-ups, tell them about your journey.
Guys, before I answer that, there are a lot of questions. We try to cover all them up, so stay in this chat. We're trying to answer all of the questions. So,
Yeah.
about the handstand push-up. Um, Actually, I just start with how they call this exercise, pike push-ups. Yeah, just on the
Mm.
floor. Pike push-ups to strengthen the shoulder muscles. And once I was so strong and I didn't know I was able to do this, my legs just lifted by
Yes.
themselves. So I went to the pike push-up position, and tried to get like 80% on my hands and shoulders and just 20% on my feet. And then I was so strong, I was able to hold it. and I was
Hmm.
like, maybe just press it out, and then I press it out and I just fall. Yeah, it's normal. But once I get used to like this kind of balance, also I added this to the pike push-ups, and yeah, I think this is the best exercise to do this. Or you can try it on the walls with some negative work. That's also a way, but yeah, I just learned it from using my strength, because the handstand push-up especially is a strength move. And yeah, just do
Yes.
a lot of shoulder strengthening exercise, like for example pike push-ups, and it definitely going to help you with the
Hmm.
handstand.
And I just wanted to add for a handstand push-up, I think one of the most valuable tools you could have is just doing bent arm handstands are your best friend because the body angle shift is probably but in my opinion, that's the hardest part of the handstand push-up when you're
Another
learning it.
great exercise, because you talk, I did a lot of L sits
Mm.
to bend arm handstand, but it was not like a
Yes.
handstand, it was more like a tuck handstand.
Yeah,
You
like
can
a
do
shoulder
like,
handstand with tucked
yes,
knees. Yes.
yes, yes. And it's just important, like Raymond said, to spend a lot of time possible in this kind of lower position, because this will give you the strength. And once you have the strength, you can press it out very easy, because the rest is like just core work and yeah, controlling the balance.
Yeah, and that's just it. That slow hold, doing very slow negatives. Because don't forget, in the beginning, you're not going to be able to be exploding, doing all that. So like those slow negatives are really key in the handstand. Like if there's ever like a position where you should practice very slow negatives, I would recommend the handstand. It's just going to pay you dividends over time.
Yes, yes. Also, for all the guys who want to train planche, handstand is a must-have, and also great handstand push-ups to have the
Hmm.
strength to do like this next advanced move. Okay, we have a next question with how many freestyle sessions a week do you train La Twist?
Oh, that's a good question.
Do you want to cover that, or do you want to add something with your handstands?
Yeah, we could just bounce all over the place.
All
We're
right.
going to get so
Okay,
many
we just
questions.
bounce around. All
Let's
right.
talk about how many freestyle because that's and
Okay.
also wait, can I
Freestyle.
add to that? How do you deal with your hands? So I do mostly slow stuff, so I'm just calloused. I'm not worried about tearing. I'm just worried about how thick my calluses get. How do
Yes.
you deal with not tearing during freestyle
Yes.
and all the
Yes.
like giants with
Yeah.
swings and all
Yeah.
that?
Okay. That's pretty simple. So I'm doing like 2 freestyle sessions a week,
Okay, two.
rarely 3, but most of the time 1 or 2, depending how hard they are and depending of what kind of environment I'm training. Because the training parks here in Frankfurt, they're not really safe. Like the bar are very narrow, and we don't have
Mm,
mats and stuff like that. So it's possible, but it's just too dangerous. And I'm at this kind of moment where I'm saying, okay, I want to care more about my body, so 2 sessions are completely enough for me.
yes.
And depending on what you're learning, when you do freestyle, when you're a big calisthenics beginner or freestyle calisthenics beginner, you can train freestyle like every second day. When you have a good training plan where you just train it a bit, it's like you have your normal workout, and between that you're trying some freestyle moves. Then you can do it like almost every day. But when you do like this kind of long combos, what I'm doing,
Yeah,
then
that's
you
different.
stress a lot of the hands, and also the wrist injuries like very high.
Hmm.
Also when you're trying to learn new moves and combine it with the stuff you already learned. So it's just depending on how stressed your joints are and how does your body feel. And
Yes.
my personal experience about that is like when I was a calisthenics beginner and I tried freestyle, I always had like joint pain
Hmm.
because I didn't stop when I should stop. That's the thing what need to be said. And when your body is like able to do everything without pain, then you can do it like consistently, just focusing on your mobility. And about the callus, my hands are pretty good, like you see, it's not that bad. It's because I always cut the first layer of the skin off
Yes.
when I feel like it's too thick, because it will the pressure on your hands is too big when you do giants and stuff like that. And it's just a vicious circle when you don't care about your hands a lot. And also cream your hands with like normal lotion after having a shower, and
Yeah.
almost have like sweaty or like very like a kind of texture on my hand that will protect the healing. It's like it boosts the healing process. And
Yes.
when your hands are all the time dry, especially when you have a workout, let me say you use liquid chalk, and after you're washing your hands are still
Very
dry.
dry.
They're
Very.
very dry. And when you keep it dry, the healing process, it's like just my opinion. I don't know if it's like that or not, but I just can talk to myself. And I have the feeling that the regeneration process is faster when your hands are a little bit, yeah, wet. So
Yeah, you absolutely want to moisturize, oil your hands. Cocoa butter is really good for this because it's also got some healing properties to it. Yeah, just take care of your hands. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. And so you find now when you're doing giant swings and stuff like that, are you obviously you're not like how do you maintain that super tight grip but also loosen up so that you can rotate without like catching your calluses and tearing?
yes, yes, yes. So it's more like knowing what your limit of your grip strength is, and also when I have a feeling, oh, my hands are burning and they're still sore from last pull session, then I can't do giants.
Yeah.
I can do, but then I will rip my hands. So that's a thing you have to keep in mind of. And to answer your question, it's like my forearms are really strong because of that freestyle. Also my grip strength, and grip
Yeah.
strength is, in my opinion, in calisthenics probably maybe the most important thing,
By
because
far. By
you're
far.
doing everything with a tight grip. And so it's also very important to that's a bonus tip, to care about your forearms. To
Calisthenics gets your grip insanely strong.
yes.
Insanely. Have you ever tried any of those like advanced grippers, like just from your
Yeah,
calisthenics grip strength?
in the beginning, I had like this kind of tool, and I did it to strengthen my forearms. But you need to be careful about that when you have already stressed forearms, and
Yeah.
you're adding this with this added exercise, your forearms and your grip strength. Yeah, you need a little bit more rest. But yeah, the grip is like the most important thing. And when you do the swings and you have a good grip and you have a good body feeling, then nothing can happen. We just have like a kind of guy doing like giants in
Mhm.
at the park where we train at the white bars, and he did like very big giants and just crash and he fall. That's what my
Ooh.
friends tell me. I haven't seen that, but they
Is
told
he
me
all
that
right?
he fall. Yeah, I hope he's all right, because that looked. They told me that it was like very.
I also only do that about 2 days a week because that's all my joints can handle at
The
this
best
point.
thing, the best thing is to do this when you feel it. Okay,
Yes.
sometimes you need to get out of your comfort zone, but start slow. Don't rush yourself with the hardest move in the beginning of the workout. Just go step by step, and you will get a good body feeling. What I'm
Hmm.
always doing with my friends, what we realize helps a lot with freestyle, is to do like flips. When you're good at flips, or maybe you're in a gymnastic place where you have like thick mats, just
Hmm.
practice some front flips or something, where, or some rolls on the floor. You can jump,
Yeah.
do a dive roll on the floor, and this
I did
gives you,
so many grips and dive rolls when I was younger. Oh my God, my whole
yes,
childhood was just like dressing up at a
exactly,
ninja at night and just diving over anything I could find high
exactly,
enough, like diving
exactly,
over fences. And it really, it's funny. It really helps out with the athleticism, just being like a goofy kid diving over things. Like
exactly.
dive
It
rolls are
helps.
such a good skill.
Yeah, it helps a lot. So we just activate our like neural system, that the body knows, okay, you have the right control over your body today. Then you can start like all the moves you normally do, but go step by step. And to do giants, I always recommend to do it like in on safe, like every freestyle move.
Mhm.
If you have like a park with like sand ground, you can tighten up the sand so when you fall it doesn't hurt. Or the best thing is get someone who spot you, someone who is like a little bit more advanced into calisthenics, and when you do this moves, he's always there, have his hands there, so you feel
Mhm.
safe. Because in dynamics it's just like all in or nothing. When
Also,
you give
maybe
like,
buy a crash mat. I mean, they're like two,
yes,
three
yes,
hundred bucks. I mean, think about it.
exactly,
Like two, 300
yes,
bucks. It might seem like a large purchase at first, but then it's like, hey, now I don't have a broken neck and I could still walk. So it's
exactly.
like, just get a crash mat.
Definitely. We also just bought our crash mat with all the guys here. Everybody just put like $30 together. We talked
Yeah.
quickly, so it's nothing, so you can get this. And don't be stupid with this, like, yeah, no pain, no gain. Only the hard guys are doing the stuff on concrete and stuff like that. okay, if you want to prove everybody that you can do it, fine. But like at this age where no, okay, my body is like a temple. I want to treat it like very good, and I just do like the crazy stuff when I know when I'm going to fall. The risk is like very small that something can happen. So this is my best advice, because you feel good, you won't injure yourself, and you can do it in a long, safe way.
Yeah. Don't be afraid to look like a nerd. Do some safety stuff. Never be afraid of that. I used to be like, oh, I'm hardcore. I'm only doing handstands on regular power. I'm doing this and doing that. You know what? Every single bar I have is wrapped in thick tennis grip tape now because I have so many bone bruises in my hands from training. Like I just, I used to be so much more hardcore. Now I'm just like, I just want to train every day and I just want to feel good so that I can train every day. What's more common, wrist or shoulder injury? Great question just popped in. And also, speaking of which, since I just mentioned I trained every day, how many days a week do you train? I take off about 5 days a year here and there. I train almost every day. How many days a week do you train, and what do you think is more common, wrist or shoulder injury? For me, certainly shoulder is way more common for me than wrist. My wrists are pretty bomb-proof at this point, but they're both pretty common, but I'd say shoulder injuries are probably way more common in calisthenics.
Yes, it's the same for me. So I'm not training every day. I'm training every second day.
Okay.
Since I'm doing like pull and push in one training session, especially when
Same.
you train front lever and planche in one combination,
Same.
it's like very hard for the muscles to regenerate when you train like every day. So when I have a split like with pull and push, then I train like almost every day. But yeah, I'm just preparing for competitions right now, so I have to do like everything in one combo, and this destroys you. Like it use all your maximum strength, so I need like 1 or maybe 2, even 2 days of rest to recover. But it depends on what kind of level you are and what kind of skills you want to learn. So it's like very dependent on the person.
It also, you make a good point. Like I'm just training just to make Instagram content just because I'm addicted to training because I love it, helping out and doing things. But you train for competition. So, like obviously when I used to compete in other sports and stuff, my training had to be much more structured, much more like time focused. I'd have to worry about peaking for competition, all that. How do you handle with the timing of approaching competition? Because I don't know about you, I only truly feel strong maybe 2 sessions out of the month. They're those magic sessions where like everything's just working right and I actually feel powerful. And the rest of the time I feel like I'm really like just trying to like fight my way and get it there, and just I'm happy to be doing it, but I just don't feel like I don't feel light. I don't feel like I just power through everything. And obviously in competition you want those powerful days to fall in a day when you're competing. You get that benefit, plus you get the benefit of the crowd hyping you up and all that. And it's just, I'm sure it helps like crazy, for all those major wins you've had and all that. Yeah, so how do you focus on peaking for competition? Like what's your competition training like a month out versus a week out of competition?
Firstly, I have to say Schwarzwälder Kirschtorte for my friend and one of my coaches, shout out to Nick from Australia. Yeah, Schwarzwälder Kirsch. It's just a cake, a German cake. It's very popular. So, answering your question, it's like a very good question, very hard to answer because everybody does it differently. Yeah, but especially when I'm focusing on competition, I told you I need to do like complex combos.
Yes.
And I split it up. Like, for example, when I have a combo in my head, what I want to do, then I have like 2 sessions maybe, or just most of the time 1 session in a week where I train the whole complete combo, because it's like 3 minutes or 2 minutes round, and you know how hard it is to hold like a front lever for 3 seconds and then you have to do something for 2 or 3 minutes, that's like
crazy.
really insane. That kills your endurance, and you can't do this every day or every training day.
No.
Some people do it because they're fucking insane. I really love it. But I can't do it. So I split it up. So I have like 1 complete session, and then the next days I'm focusing on progressions. Like maybe I split the combos in like 1-minute combos, doing the beginning of my combos and then the end of my combos. And also like focusing on technique and strengthening exercises. So it's more like 1 freestyle session, like hard freestyle session where I do everything, and then 2 freestyle or like static sessions where I split up the things and adding up like sometimes weight, sometimes sets and reps, mobility stuff, and also endurance and normal sets and reps. Yeah.
No, that's a really good point. And let's go into so I also got people asking, what's your favorite move? But before we get into that, oh my God, I'm sorry, my brain just fogged up for a second. What was I going to ask you? Oh no. Oh yeah, let's just go into it. What's your favorite move? What's your
Yeah,
favorite trick? What's your favorite
it will
skill?
come soon.
What are you most happy with?
My favorite skill. That's a good question because my sponsor also asked me what's my favorite skill, and I can't answer that because there's so many beautiful skills. But recently, my favorite skill is the frisbee. This move is
Mm.
so dangerous.
Oof.
It's
So
not
good
as
watching you do
excellent,
that.
but you just have a very great mindset to know that you're able to do like this kind of spin and catch it again.
It's
But
crazy how you don't smack the bar doing that. It's
yes,
incredible.
yes, that's like very blessed. So I'm very careful with that. But I think my all-time favorite move, especially in dynamics, because I'm just made for doing dynamics because I love to fly over the bar. I also love the rest of calisthenics, but my heart is just for freestyle calisthenics, and that's why also my name is like Lat Twist. Because back in the days, I did in Germany we call it twist flip. All
Ah,
the
okay.
other guys they saying ginga. Yeah, the ginga is like this kind of. I think somebody in gymnastic did it like years ago. It's like you have a swing and it looks like you're doing a side flip and catching the bar again.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's a Ginga. Okay, yes, yes, yes.
Yes, yes. And I've unlocked this move like on my 18th birthday. No, not
Oh
18th.
wow.
I'm not even started when I was 18. I started calisthenics when I was 21. Pretty
Okay.
late, you know. I was still able to do like all the crazy skills. So when somebody's here who's like older than 20 or maybe 25 or something, it's never too late to do this. So
39.
yeah, you
And I'm 6'3", you know, like you can be
yeah,
any body type, any
exactly.
age, you
You're
know.
the
Yeah.
best proof for that. So that's really amazing. And yeah, I unlocked this move when I was, I think, 22 or 23. I can't remember. It was on my birthday. And I
That's
really
awesome. What a
wanted
good
that skill
birthday
because
present.
nobody
Damn.
could do it back in the days in Germany. It was like just Karash and Dion, like two people who were able to do this move. And I was like, man, I really want that. And I just visualize it and then I somehow just grab it. I
So
can't
that's what
explain.
you're named after. I originally thought your name was like from the lats, you know, because they're one of the most important muscles in all this.
Yeah, yeah.
Graham is chiming in. Graham is 73 years old and can hold a front lever just like bam. Like I'm just like it's incredible. And I think Graham actually just started out not that within the year or so. So like Graham is the ultimate. Like you could do this at any age and you could start at any age. This guy holds front levers like I don't know. You know,
It's
most
true.
20-year-olds would do it. You know, give their left arm to hold a front lever like that. It's
They
incredible.
are like also a Japanese street workout team. Can't remember names. Something with silver wolves, silver turtles, or something. They're like really old with super gray hairs, and
Mhm.
they're like 70 years old, or some of them even 80. And they're doing like muscle ups, front lever, swings, jives.
Incredible.
I think they're coming from gymnastics, but they're still doing like the workouts on the hard bars on concrete and doing this crazy strength exercise. Where I thought, well, that's just insane. When I would be very happy when I can perform this kind of moves at this
Yeah.
age.
And speaking of which, Rima in Scotland, Rime, she just chimed in. She's 51, and she just started blasting bar muscle ups this week. She's new to calisthenics. I think she started over lockdown. 51, and she's throwing bar muscle ups. Billy, thank you so much for buying a badge, brother. Like I'm just playing around with Instagram, doing what they say, but thank you so much, my man. Like it really means a lot, Billy. Thank you, brother. Oh, Tyler, thank you guys. Thank you so much. You guys are good
Yeah, we
people.
have to say big shout out to all the people who's coming to this chat and also taking your time to listen to us. Spending
Yeah.
this kind of round is like very nice, and yes, thank
And
you guys.
I remember what I wanted to ask you, Than. How do you deal with recovery? So me, foam roller and lacrosse ball, that's as far as I'll go with recovery. That's my recovery game. Um,
Okay, that's a very nice topic, and I wanted to do a video about that, but it takes so long to do this. But like very shortly, I'm doing lately a lot of mobility and flexibility stuff. Foam rolling is like the best,
yeah,
one of the
mobility and
best things.
flexibility, I should mention. I'm huge on mobility. I'm huge on range of motion. I'm like most of my leg training is all like mobility and that.
Yes,
But so when your mobility is better, I don't think you need as much recovery work and all that. But yeah,
yes.
so sorry about that. Just wanted to
So
add that in.
recovery is just about carrying what you eat, like get a lot of plants, get a lot of proteins and all this stuff. just get your knowledge about nutrition, and your body will recover like
Hmm.
way better and can perform way better. And
Yes.
yes, what I'm doing a lot is taking very hot showers, but then put it on cold. So
Oof.
yeah, having
Yeah, those
cold
are
showers
brutal.
helps also a lot. Care about your breathing and what are you doing, focusing everything on training, and then training's done and you have like maybe some bad habits, what can like put your training down again. And that's like these kind of small things. You have to see the complete picture, the bigger picture, and try to fit everything like correct, like nutrition, I said, rest,
Mhm.
sleep, and also mobility stuff. But it's just some small screws, you know, and you have to try to fix everything together and have a good balance when you want to perform in a good level. And what my physio therapist told me is, because I've never been to a physiotherapist. I'm a massage therapist. I
Oh,
learned
you
Thai
are?
massage.
Oh,
Yes,
cool.
my mother got like Thai massage, and the thing is, he told me you're in your athletics. Maybe your nutrition is also good,
Mm.
but what's about your recovery game? What are you doing for your relaxation, for your recovery? All professional athletes have like a professional treatment, like for example, some I don't know the English word of that, but you have to,
Chiropractor.
yeah, chiropractor or maybe some physiotherapists. You don't need to do like every week, once in a month, or every second month, or maybe like once a year, just to check your body if everything's correctly. Maybe you're
Hmm.
doing an exercise with a wrong or bad execution, and you will get like long-term problems. So it's like very
Hmm.
good to have like a specialist just to check up your body, especially when you do it like very professional, like I do it on a high level.
Yeah, of
When you
course. Yeah.
just,
What?
when it's just your hobby and you're doing it sideways, you don't need it. Then it's enough to treat your body with
Yeah.
foam rolls, caring about your nutrition and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He
So
said
now
to me,
go.
sorry about it.
What?
He said to me that a foam roller is just a bad massage therapist.
No, no. I would flip it on the other side. I stopped getting massages a long time ago because like, hey, foam rollers. I could just get deeper with this. Like, it just feels better. Like
Definitely,
I feel
definitely.
better after foam rolling.
Yes, yes.
And now here was, let's see, what was this? Do you implement a deload week? On the topic of recovery, yes. So Tyler wanted to know, do you implement a deload week? I don't. I never take off. I'm crazy. I just, yeah, if my body's beat, or like, maybe if my elbows are a little sore, instead of doing bent arm work or pull, I'll just do straight arm work. So I just do whatever my body feels best at that day and will allow me to play with. Because again, I'm not in competition. I just enjoying my life and loving my life and trying to be an art nerd and like help people learn some calisthenics. You're in competition, so do you ever deload? Like, do you actually deload after competition? What's your deload? Do you ever take a full week off?
That's a very important question, because before I started getting a calisthenics coach and teaching other people, I didn't even know what deload is. But then once I get all my coachings myself, and I learned a lot about this, it's really crucial when it comes to performance and progressing,
Hmm.
because when you have the feeling that you're not progressing anymore, because in the beginning it's mostly like going like exponentially up, but then you're like your progress is just stopping, and then it's pretty good to implement a deload week, but depending on how far your skills already are. For example, when you're trying to learn handstands, it's it's so important to stay in your handstand for a while, as long as possible, and then you have
Yes.
a deload week for like 1 week. You're not training any handstands, then your handstand progression will have a lag. That's not pretty. That's not the smartest thing. But for
Like,
example, when you
just to
already,
add on,
yeah,
just based on what you're saying, I'm currently deloading from iron cross work. I haven't done iron cross work. I don't plan on doing much for a month. I'm just taking off, working on other things. So I'm just deloading from iron cross work, but still training every day. But I do deload specific movements. So sorry, I just wanted to add that into
yes,
what you
no,
were
no
saying.
problem, no problem, bro. That's like very nice, because once you're unlocking this move or have a good feeling in this kind of handstand or iron cross, then you can build. Then you can start a dealer week, because your muscles have like this kind of muscle memory. When you're starting again, they activate it. But mostly you still can. half like the training plan. So you just train like 50% for your deload, but it depends a lot on the person and on the skills. So it's very
Yes.
hard to say if it's good or not. So when you just feel you're not progressing, just do a deload week or just minimize your workout to 20%, but still doing like small exercise
Yeah.
for the skill. So you just keep the form and the technique. So yes.
Yeah, that's a good point. And since people are always curious about this, I had Sean Wells on last weekend talking about supplementation. What do you supplement with? Then I'll talk about what I supplement with. So go for it. Well, yeah, what's your supplementation?
So actually, I'm not a really big fan of supplementation.
Okay.
Or I wasn't a big fan, but then one friend of me, he came with Herbalife. Yeah. Okay, don't care about the business, but with the products, they had like all the micronutrients and all the vitamins, proteins, and I have to say I'm a very lazy person. So I'm not
Yeah,
that
me
guy.
too.
Okay, I'm taking a lot of time to make my breakfast and having a very fast lifestyle. So okay, I'm taking that shake. It has everything what I need, and since I'm doing that, I can perform on my highest level. Even I get
Yes.
older and even I get more injured, I feel like stronger because my body has everything, and especially what I
Yeah.
really need. And yes, and supplement, the best supplement what I can recommend for everybody who's doing calisthenics is creatine. Creatine.
Creatine.
Yes,
Creatine mono. Get it in monohydrate, and if you are purchasing it, get the micronized version. Don't get the regular creatine. It's very crystally. You get the
yes,
micronized powder, it's just gone. You just pour some water on it, you won't even know there's
exactly,
creatine in it.
exactly, exactly.
Micronized creatine is your friend.
It helps me a lot to do like static skills, or
Hmm.
it just maximize your max strength. So I have a feeling it helps me a lot in performing on a more stressful way, so my body can handle and recover just better. So
Tyler just added in collagen's amazing for your joints. Sean absolutely recommended collagen. I completely agree. I take like a lot of brain-based supplements just because I just prefer that, like lion's mane stuff like that. But yeah, creatine is great. I find beta alanine will help with like especially with like dynamic like static holds or anything you need a little more like gas in the tank for. Beta alanine is pretty effective and also gives you a nice like itchy feeling, which kind of like hypes you up for training. But aside from that, man, that's about it for
I
me.
haven't
Just
heard about collagen. I just read about it, but I never take it. So have you experienced about that?
I'm a vegan. I don't eat animals, so I can't take traditional collagen because
Yes.
that's the connective tissue of
Yeah.
animals melted down. But yeah, it's excellent for it's like the building blocks of all like the collagen in your body. So for like joint repair, it's excellent. I do sometimes. I recently on Sean's recommendation, I did get a vegan pro collagen that and has some collagen peptides in
Yeah.
it from plant-based sources. But yeah, collagen. I used to use it way back in the day when I wasn't vegan. It is. I would recommend it for calisthenics athletes for the joints. I'm not big on recommending protein, whey protein, or anything, but collagen. If you are going to buy a protein, if you're in calisthenics, I would definitely use collagen
Yeah.
if you're able to. And it's again in that one, if you are going to get a collagen, I'll just throw a recommendation out there: get hydrolyzed collagen because it'll just mix in so much easier. If you get regular collagen, you'll have like little joint, collagen crystals in your stuff like that. Best thing if you have a cup of coffee in the morning, just throw some hydrolyzed collagen in there. You'll never even know it's in there. It'd go right down, and it
But
is very good for your joints.
that's amazing that you're plant-based and that you're vegan. How long are you doing like this kind of lifestyle?
So I've been vegan, I think, almost 7 years now. And I eat once a day, so like I'll fast for like 22 hours. I'll eat like in a
That's
2 or 3
amazing.
hour
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
window every night, and that's like the performance thing. The vegan stuff, I'm a wimp. I love animals, so I'm like I just love animals. I don't want to kill them,
Yeah,
but
I just told you why. What was before my call today with you? So we just get a new dog, a new foster dog.
oh
I can
nice. Let me
show
see
you.
him. Is he in the
Yeah,
room?
he's with my girlfriend in the garden right now, and
Oh, look at him laying there.
yeah, he's pretty tired from the trip because they come from an Eastern European country, and we just rescue the dogs, bringing them to Germany. My girlfriend is also vegan, but yeah, I'm not vegan. I'm just part-time vegan, not fully vegan yet.
I
But
wouldn't even recommend it for most people, especially like you're an athlete. Like I literally only do the vegan stuff just because of my love for animals. But like for most people, like that's why I'm not dogmatic. I don't talk about being vegan that often. Like,
yes,
it'll
yes,
only come up in nutritional
yeah,
conversations.
it's
It's just
same for me. You
do
don't need
you,
to
you know?
put it on a big sign, you know. It's just do your thing. When you feel good with that, just do it.
I see Graham is asking, is it bovine collagen or bone broth? Either would work. I just recommend, and you could also get, pork-based. You get all chicken-based collagen. It doesn't matter really the source. I would just get hydrolyzed. It just mixes so much better. Oh no, I think I then froze. Did we
Okay,
lose him? There
now
you
I'm
are.
back. I'm back.
Perfect. Oh my God, we have so much more to talk about, but we're like running out of time soon. We gotta do more of these, man. I love talking to you,
Yeah,
man.
definitely. I
This
think
is
it's
great.
also good when we start
Uh-oh, lost you again.
pretty. My girlfriend just. Oh, can you hear
Uh,
me again? Can you
yeah,
hear
now
me?
I can. Yeah,
Or
you
is it
cut out for
lagging?
1 second. Yeah,
Okay,
now
I
you're
think
good.
the
You're perfect
connection
now.
was lost, but I just want to tell you that we need to stop this call because I need to bring the dog inside because they're freezing outside. So
Uh,
yeah,
no
definitely
problem,
have to
brother.
do this more often again because it was a really nice talk, and I think
Yeah.
we could end.